Hey everyone, I'm Don Romeo and welcome back to our cover to cover weekly small groups video. Before we get into our verse for the week, let's take a quick trip back to a really intense part of the Bible before we actually jump into our verse in Matthew 28. So imagine this. Jesus has just been arrested and all of his close friends, the disciples, they're all kind of going nuts. They've seen him do all of these amazing things and now they're scared and they bail on him when he needs them the most. And then we have Peter, the rock, who ends up denying he even knows Jesus 3 times. It really goes to show how we all have these moments of weaknesses, doesn't it? Now let's fast forward to the beginning of Matthew 28. We have Mary Magdalene and the other Mary. They go to check out Jesus' tomb. But instead of finding a tomb that's locked up tight, they're met by this angel who's sitting on the stone that he rolled away. The angel actually says to him, "He's not here, he's risen." Now, after this miraculous resurrection of Jesus, there's guards at the tomb, and they're kind of thrust into the center of an event that shook the very earth beneath their feet. These Romans, they're known for their strict military discipline. They were actually direct witnesses of the angel who rolled the stone away. Now, the Bible captures this moment in Matthew 28 by saying, "The guards shook with fear, and when they saw him, they fell into a dead faint." These soldiers, who would have been accustomed to the rigorous demands of Roman military life, including the critical practice of rotating watches to ensure that some were always alert while others always rested, now faced an unprecedented situation. Their training would have left no room for the possibility of falling asleep on duty without facing severe consequences, punishments that could be as harsh as even death. Now, there's a Roman historian, his name is Polybius. He writes about military punishments and notes that guards who fell asleep on duty could be beaten or stoned to death by their comrades as part of maintaining discipline. This was to ensure that the soldiers understood the gravity of their responsibilities and the consequences of neglect. Yet when they reported to the city and told the chief priests everything that had happened, they found themselves entangled in a story that contradicted the discipline of their reality. The chief priests, they confronted them with a truth that undermined their authority. They devised a plan that required these soldiers to claim a lapse in this very discipline. It says that they gave the soldiers a large bribe and told them, "You must say Jesus' disciples came during the night while we were sleeping and they stole his body." The irony of the situation is remarkable. The soldiers were being asked to admit to a dereliction of their duty, where under normal circumstances would have led to their execution. The religious leaders assured them that they would protect the guards from the governor's wrath, as stated in Matthew 28:14, where it says, "If the governor hears about it, we'll stand up for you so you won't get in trouble." It suggests an understanding of the severity of the claim that they were asking these guards to make. So let's think about this story. These guards were paid to spread, okay? They're supposed to have been snoozing on the job when Jesus' disciples sneak in and swipe his body. But here's the thing. If a Roman guard got caught sleeping while on duty, they'd be signing their own death warrant. And another thing, how do a bunch of scared disciples manage to roll away a massive stone without waking up these guards? It's pretty wild to imagine. Remember, back in Matthew 26, it's clear as day. It says, all the disciples deserted Jesus and fled. The only one who stuck around for the crucifixion was John. The rest of the crew, their hopes were crushed. They thought Jesus was going to kick the Romans out and take charge. But then he's executed. And their dreams are shattered. They're not about to go play hero and move a heavy stone, especially not with Roman soldiers around. That's a quick way to get a ticket to having yourself killed. So the story that the guards were told to tell, it's got more holes than a fishing net. Now, after the storm of Jesus' arrest and the disciples' flight, there comes the moment of absolute clarity and purpose, the reason for it all. Jesus is risen and victorious. He doesn't even hold a grudge. Instead, he gives his followers a mission that's as relevant now as it was back then. He tells them, "Therefore go and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit." This isn't just a task, it's a mission. The disciples who had been hiding, scared, uncertain, are now charged with stepping out with confidence. Their fears turned to courage. Their confusion turned to conviction. They're tasked with spreading the news that changed the world. And they do it with gusto. If they can flip the script after everything that they've been through, what's stopping us? We've all got our Roman guards. We've all got our heavy stones. We've all got those things in life that make us want to run and hide. Maybe it's stress. Maybe it's failure. Maybe it's just the daily grind that wears us down. But here's the thing. The same power that rolled away the stone, the same power that raised Jesus from the dead, is at work in us. We're called to step out of our comfort zone, to share love, to share hope, to share truth, even when life gets lifey. So what's our Great Commission? It's to live boldly. It's to love fiercely. It's to spread kindness like it's going out of style. It's to face our fears. It's to face our failures. It's to face our everyday battles with the confidence of someone who knows the end of the story. Sometimes we forget that we are on the winning team, and it's time to act like it. Let's not let our fears dictate our lives. Let's rise up. Let's roll away our stones, and let's step into the light of our own resurrection story. Let's live out the Great Commission in our homes, in our workplaces, even in our communities, just one moment at a time. Thank you for joining us this week. God bless.